Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is a brand new TV show review, and today I'm going to be talking about Star Wars The Bad Batch. All 16 episodes are available now, so that's what we're talking about today, so let's get to it. Alright, so as I mentioned, all 16 episodes are available now on Disney Plus, so you can stream them. If you have not seen any of them, I recommend them to you. The finale dropped last week as of this video being uploaded, but today is actually the day, me recording this is the day the finale came out. I have some notes here that I wrote down for this review in particular, and I actually have on my Star Wars shirt for this review in particular as well. It has a variety of Star Wars characters, and it says a bunch of the characters' names and all that, so thought it would work out for this review very, very nicely. So, without further ado, let's kick off my thoughts on it. So, the first thing I put down was voice acting. I want to mention the time right now to mention the voice acting, because I feel like how there were so many characters in this show, it was very niche. Like, each of the clones, you know, when you look at the Clone Wars, there were a lot of clones, but there are also some Jedi, some villain characters, but this show, each episode was mostly about the Bad Batch going on these missions, and there's only one guy voicing all the Bad Batch, and other clones that join in with them, so it's very, very incredible work, voice acting talent by D. Bradley Baker, who has done other voices in other animated projects, specifically Perry the Platypus. He's the voice of Perry the Platypus in Phineas and Ferb. You know, he doesn't have a voice, but he does the noise for Perry the Platypus, which is really unique. And yeah, he voices all the clones here in the Clone Wars show and the Bad Batch. And specifically, what I love what he does with the Bad Batch is, you know, Hunter and I believe, okay, I think Hunter is the only one that sounds remotely like the other clones, any of the other clones you see in the show, but like Tech, Crosshair, and Wrecker, Echo also is one of the ones that sounds the same, but you know, Tech, Crosshair, and Wrecker have different distinctive voices, and I think he does a spectacular job at making them sound like different people. You know, because, I mean, many voice actors have incredible talent of voice range, but him specifically to make these clones sound similar but different voices is uncanny and just incredible work. So, you know, I want to mention that because, like, Tech has, like, a higher voice pitch a little bit. Crosshair has, like a very, like, nasally sound, kind of. And then Wrecker is just this big, brute character who talks with a grumbly, deep voice a little bit, different than the other clones, so it's just very unique, and I love the style he brings, that D. Bradley Baker can do with these characters, so it's just incredible, and I wanted to take the time to mention that. Next, thoughts on the clones. I kind of mentioned that, well, not really. I said the voice acting. My thoughts on the clones, Bad Batch collectively, is their skills are fleshed out, I think, really nicely throughout the season, and you see that in like the chunk of episodes in the Clone Wars season 7, but you see that throughout this season of the Bad Batch. And you know, Crosshair, it does really his not powers, but his skill set of arching, of like target practice, and then Tech with his technology abilities, Hunter with his, I would say Hunter has some skills on it. He does more tracking and all this, and it's nice to see what his abilities are throughout the show, as well as Wrecker just being an absolute, like, I wouldn't say class clown of the group, but he's more or less just like a jokester and like clumsy guy. I don't want to call him clumsy because he's somewhat clumsy throughout the show, but you don't notice that when the Bad Batch are introduced in the Clone Wars. but I do love each of their different abilities. Echoes is nice. We he's like sort of like Tech, like he has a lot of smart abilities to him, but he's also the one that helps out with, like, his robot hand wherever they can hack into something. I feel like him and Tech really help out each other in a certain way. He also is the pilot in one way or another. I think Hunter also flies the ship at one point, but the animation style is gorgeous as well. I love this. It's the same animation style as the Clone Wars, but this show, the way it's shot and whatever, Dave Filoni shot this show similar to a way you would do it in live action. It's just like you're holding up a gun and you can see the perspective of where the target is on the gun, and just look and how it's aimed at your target, your dummy, your person, whatever, and it's just on point. It's perfect, laser focus. It's gorgeous. I'm not saying the Clone Wars is bad, but just because this show doesn't have any lightsabers or dueling, I think it makes it a little bit more unique and adds a little bit more flavor to it when you have just people looking to a target at their aim, at their direction they're going, and it just makes it very nice show. Again, they're two totally different things, and they're similar in lots of ways. But I feel like this one just does a great job at showing the shots, the dynamic levels on what's happening throughout the the way they shot the show with the camera angles and all that. Also, something I want to mention is the characters. They, in the premiere episode, which was an hour and 50 minutes, or 70 minutes long, I guess that's almost an hour and a half, they had Kanan Jarrus, a young Kanan Jarrus from Rebels. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of Rebels, and I gave up because I just thought it was really bizarre animation style and couldn't get into it. But the young Kanan Jarrus was in there. They had Saw Gerrera from Rebels as well as Rogue One, so I liked his appearance as well. Nice, added Easter eggs there. I wouldn't call it an Easter egg, cameo, if you will. And so those were nice. And then the soundtrack as well, I think it was John Williams reprising? I can't remember, because every time it said in the credits, it said Star Wars theme done by John Williams, so I'm assuming that he did all the soundtracks, which I don't know why it wouldn't be, but I could be wrong, but it was someone else. But anyway, whoever did the soundtrack, if it was John Williams, if it was someone else, loved it. I loved in the finale how they brought back some of the other Star Wars music from other movies and stuff, like little nugget pieces of segments of the pieces from Star Wars. But when in the finale, when they land on Kamino, on the planet that they're from, when it rains and all that, where the clones are made, they have the music from Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan lands on Kamino. So amazing stuff. I love that theme. I love that score when Obi-Wan lands on Kamino. It's just a great piece in my opinion. So when I heard that, I was like, yes, they included that. I wrote down the Empire. Okay, so I'm kind of going to backtrack, go to my note on thoughts on the episode. So when in the first few episodes are basically them. By the way, this is a little bit of a spoiler review. I forgot to mention that there might be a little bit of spoilers. I haven't really said anything spoilery yet, but I will be right now. So if you want to back out now, be sure to watch this season and then come back. So the first few or so episodes are basically the Bad Batch losing a member of their team, trying to recruit him back, and gaining a member, a clone, young girl clone, who they figure out is a clone later, and having her on the team and trying to figure out who she is, where she comes from, and then figure out that she's a clone, and she helps them along the way try to get their lost member back on the team. And throughout the way, there's some bounty hunters. There's the bounty hunter Ming-Hua Yen, Fennec Shand from the Mandalorian who appears, which is, I love her appearance in this. Cad Bane, the bounty hunter from Clone Wars, also returns in this. and is a nice cameo, or not cameo, but character returning in this one. Love seeing him. And then the bounty hunters, Fennec Shand and Cad Bane, kind of have a little duel between themselves, kind of face off in one of the episodes, so that was nice. And throughout the season, a character called Sid, an alien lady, helps out the Bad Batch go on their mission. She's kind of like the dealer, or the pawnbroker, giving the Bad Batch their coins, their money. After they come back from a mission, they do whatever, so forth, and they succeed in their mission. They get their money, their cost, I guess. What would you call that? I guess just money. Their goods back, and they're paid in their debt, I guess is what I was trying to think of, and I thought of it. So yeah, that happens for like the first 3 episodes. They lose, and then they lose their member. They get this girl. Then the next one, they go on their missions via her. There's so many like plot. It's kind of like the Clone Wars in a sense. They go on a mission, they do this, and then they come back. But there's not really like a whole plot advancing the whole season, until there's a one episode where there's a girl from Rebels, a young green alien girl, and then the robot droid Chopper appears in a 2-parter episode. So that was kind of cool to see her, the young girl from Rebel, or the woman from Rebels, kind of as a young child. And then I liked the 2-parter episode. I liked it. Some people were like, "Oh, this is bad. These are the worst 2 episodes of the season." And then throughout like the last 5 or so episodes, they have Crosshair, who is the lost member, come back and have a little fight with the Bad Batch, and then they wrap the story up in the finale. So I'm not gonna like give out too many plot points here. So in the end, when they're fighting Crosshair and lose their home planet in spite of this event, trying to get Crosshair back, the Empire is creating these new clones, TK clones, and going away with the old clones that you've seen every time in Clone Wars and the Bad Batch, and now making these TK clones, which in my opinion are pre-Stormtroopers. But when I was talking with one of my friends, he said, no, the Stormtroopers have already been in development. The Stormtroopers have already been were the clones to begin with, but I said, no, these are pre-Stormtroopers. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below, but I believe, in my thoughts, that these are pre-Stormtroopers, so I could be totally wrong, but before the finale came out, I thought that Darth Vader might show up at some point. I was wrong about that, but I hope Darth Vader shows up at some point, some shape or form, next season, because there will be season 2 next year. I don't want to talk about much else. Those are all my thoughts on it, just everything I thought of. Those were my general thoughts on this season as a whole. You know, there were so many things that happened. Like those are all the notes I wrote down, and you know, I think what I talked about was really what was all on my mind here. There's so many other things I could have talked about each episode, but collectively, what I wanted to mention was I thought what was enough. So, you know, this show was great. People might be like, it's not really what I wanted. It's just, for me, I love Star Wars entertainment. I love this animation style, so bringing it back for me, Rebels animation is a no-go for me, so in terms of this show, I loved it. The way they shot it, the way the effects were made, all the explosions and fight scenes were great. So, yeah, I'm excited for season 2 next year, whenever it comes out, whatever it holds in store, and to see maybe new Star Wars characters, old Star Wars characters, I guess, old Star Wars characters reprising, coming back, and if they have any new aliens, new creatures, characters, and maybe Darth Vader will show up. Maybe Maul will show up, because he's still alive at the end of Clone Wars, so who knows if he'll pop up at some point. I hope he makes a cameo, Darth Vader makes a cameo. It doesn't really need to be a big arc, but something in some shape or form. Anyway, that's my review on The Bad Batch Season 1. Season 2 come out next year. I will plan to do a review on it after that, after Season 3 comes out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, be part of the family. Link to my Instagram is down below, Boba Fett Jedi Master. Be sure to follow me over there. Stay tuned for more reviews coming out later this year. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me, share, and all that fun stuff. Don't forget to keep calm and play Lego. See you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.